Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to today's edition of the afternoon edition. My name is Isa Nu. Today, we shall be focusing on the issue of the student loan bill that was signed by the president. That was just yesterday, and definitely many Nigerians are happy with this particular policy statement that was further put into action yesterday. And as you know, Nigerian students, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, they were also at that particular point where the president made this note signed. But let me take you through this snippet quickly with respect to how this was put into action. Sorry for that. Just have a bit of flu there. But then the president signed the bill in a short ceremony at the State House in the presence of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Deputy President of the Senate Barau Jibri, the Chief of Staff to the President Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, the Minister and the Minister of State for Education Annatu Musawa, the Minister for State for Youth Ayodele Olawande, and the President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, others, government officials and aides to the President. And President Tinubu initially signed the loan bill into law back in June 2023 to offer financial assistance to Nigerian students in tertiary institutions. While the bill was signed earlier, its implementation has faced delay due to various issues hindering its rollout by this administration. The speaking afterwards, the president said, "First of all, I must thank members of the National Assembly for their expeditious handling of this bill, considering the children of Nigeria that education is a tool to fight against poverty effectively." For many of us who still remember as at June when this was signed into law, there are so many complaints, and even our guest that is here in the studio today also raised some observation, and that was one of the major reasons the president delayed in making sure that yes, it comes into fruition yesterday, to make sure that yes, every aspect that was properly criticized is put into action in that particular bill. And for now, with what we've seen so far, it means everybody, as far as you are a Nigerian student, you'll be able to benefit from this particular loan, irrespective of the tertiary institutions you have. It could be College of Education, it could be in the university, it could be Polytechnic. Even the technical skills students are going to benefit from this particular bill that was signed by the president. So many persons have applauded the president, including the National Association of Nigerian Students, whose responsibility to see that, yes, issues that pertains to the welfare of the student are properly put into place. And I remember that during the course of this particular process, the Nigerian student appealed to the government that they should increase the years of repayment of this particular loan after graduation to 5 years. Those are the issues that we are going to be discussing today. And I know Nigerian students definitely will be happy now, most especially those who go to school without any support base. And now they have an option that they can also be part of to benefit from the NEL fund. That's Nigerian Education Loan Fund for Students. So with that, we are going to commence today's discussion on the issue of the student loan bill that was assented by the president furthermore yesterday. To do that with me in the studio is Mr. Desmond Fobi Olarewaju, who is a peace and public affairs advocate here in the studio. Definitely, I will be discussing much because that is one aspect that he has also been advocating for, to see that yes, Nigerian students benefit from issues like this. If government is working, it should also work for the students. So let's go on this short break, and when we return, we start up with the conversation. But after the break, you will listen to the president on what he has to say with respect to this bill.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, And if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
Your Excellency, the Chief of Staff to the President, Right Honorable Femi Batabiamila, Honorable Ministers here present, satisfied?
No.
Honorable Minister, sir, thanks for your time. The President has just signed the student loan bill, the amendment bill, into law. meaning that this will soon come to effect in the country. What's your reaction to this?
This is a very good day, very great day for the country, great day for education, great day for Nigerian students, and who have great need, for support. And we want to thank Mr. President for his compassion and his passion for the downtrodden, actually, who are the beneficiaries of this scheme. Now the days when students will be struggling to sponsor themselves in their various educational endeavors is over, both at the tertiary and those who are seeking skills, who are seeking to be skilled, to be empowered, to move on with their lives. So it's a very great day for the country.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Lucky Emonife, President of NAMS.
How do you react to this signing of
This is commendable. As for Nigeria students that I represent, we are happy. We'll see Mr. President's commitment to the development of education. And today, the entire education system is happy. The Nigerian students particularly are happy. Our parents are happy that yes, in Nigeria, even the children of the poor can have access to quality education. We see Mr. President's commitment and the signing of the bill today. It shows that Mr. President is a father of modern education in Nigeria, and the initiator of this bill is a hero of education. So we are happy. We've never seen this before. The education system in Nigeria will have a turnaround, and we say that, of course, this is a happy moment for us. We will celebrate this. We are thanking Mr. President for this commitment. He made the vow, and today it has come to fulfillment. So we are happy. And you see that even Nigeria's parents will be happy. And we pray that those given the responsibility will effectively carry it out to ensure that, yes, Mr. President's intention, vision, and mission to ensure that no Nigerian student is out of school because of school fees. Today we are happy. God bless Mr. President and the initiator of this bill. We are very happy for this moment. Thank you, and we are happy that it is happening now. Thank you very much.
Welcome back from that report, and you've listened to the president with respect to what the student loan entails. And the beautiful aspect of this particular speech is that the president always, in most of his public outing, always gives Nigeria hope, and the Nigerians hope, I mean to say. And with that kind of sense of push, you definitely know that this is the president you want to work with, because it is better you are with somebody who is optimistic about the future than someone who is pessimistic about the future. You don't know what the future is, but then when you are positive about the future, definitely the lives of Nigerian students will be better. So good afternoon and welcome back to this particular program, Honorable Fobi. It's nice having you today on the program again. I remember the last time we had this conversation, we were very hopeful about the bill. And some of your complaint, as at then, I remember you criticized the situation. Some of your complaint
in getting
yes,
the loan.
So how did you see that epic event that took place yesterday by the president?
First of all, I must commend you. Thank you for bringing me into your studio once again, and also good afternoon to Abuja. Good afternoon, Nigerians. This is a wonderful development, and I must sincerely commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this giant stride. You will recall that sometimes last year, this bill has been passed into law, but because of the bottlenecks that a lot of us criticized here and every other places, I talked about how you need to bring the process in which you're going to pass through for you to get the loan, talking about the guarantors and the times you have to pay up the loan, and also the issue of jail, that is attached to punishment when you deferred the process. You see, well, thank God, it's a new dawn for Nigerian youths, Nigerian students that constitutes about 75% of the country total population. You know, the beautiful thing about this new enacted, amended bill for the student loan is that it's now very wide. The scope is very wide. It now entertain and cater for the needs of students who couldn't pay the bills, as well as provide loans without non-interest loan to those who want to acquire vocational skills and training, either from the polytechnic, technical schools, and what have you. And I'm very sure that a lot of Nigerians are excited about this. But the only thing we are praying is the implementation of every letter in that policy to the letter. You know, Nigeria is a very funny country. You know, most of my friends will really talk about the policy, the documentation, the laws of Nigeria and everything. So beautiful document we have, but yet we still have a lot of problems as regards our ways of life, our system, and the paper that actually prepares us for the system is perfect. Then what is wrong with us as people? That is to tell human factor. I just hope that the school environment, the ASU, the students and the parents would support this bill to actually achieve its aim, and it will not become like the NYSC. Some of us feel like it has outlived its reason for being created, its purpose for enhancement. So we just believe that this will actually achieve the aim. What are the aims that actually predicted the signing of these laws, of these bills? One is because of increments in institution for our higher education, and because of the economy reality, a lot of people couldn't afford education. Just like what the president said, he said, gone are those days where students or Nigerian youth will have to drop out of university or school because of unavailability of money to pay for school fees and all that. That era has gone. And also it put or place priority on technical skill, because that is where there's one thing I love about Mr. President, just like earlier you said, you know, is understanding about Nigerian society. He speaks not like a president. He speaks as somebody from the street. He speaks like somebody from the normal street of Nigeria that understands Nigeria. He understood. We have been talking about balancing, to create a perfect balance between tertiary education and technical or vocational skills. And in that bill, he addressed that issue, and he said it is very essential, it is very important that our youths get good education and the appropriate skills, economic skill, so that they can be dependable, independent financially. You know, that is how a president, and the fact that anytime he comes on board, he always prioritizes issues that has to do with the welfare. And I think that is what APC is all about. Yes. APC is a party that believes in the welfare of the people, the welfare of Nigerians. Kudos to them. So what I will say is that those who are in the committee, those who are saddled with the responsibility to ensure that the right people that actually deserve to get this loan get it without stress, and that is when we can say kudos. That's why we can give due kudos to Mr. President and all the effort they put in to ensure that that particular bill actually scraped through the National Assembly, the Senate, and the reps. We want to give every one of them kudos, the Senate President, the Speaker of House of Representatives, as well as the student of Nigerian students and the leadership of Nigerian students who have been advocating and hammering, and even the ASU who have identified some loopholes and also speak up, and all those issues have now been addressed in that law. So far so good. This is a good one for Mr. President, and we just hope that it will live and achieve its aim in the first place.
Okay, one other issue that is very, very pertinent in this particular issue is that if you remember, during the last one, and that's June, one of the major issues is that some persons, let me say some set of parents, were not given that opportunity to benefit from it, most especially those who are sent to be rich. But now that everybody is involved, don't you think some parents would want to withdraw themselves from sponsoring their children, because now they have an alternative?
And that is the issue that I technically input in my introductory speech, that the Nigerian people needs to give the necessary support to to ensure that that particular bill and the purpose of that signing that bill live its purpose or achieve its aim and vision. You know, one thing, everything in this life is open to abuse. We only speak to the conscience and the minds of the Nigerian people that this is not the situation we should abuse. Nigerians love to abuse everything. Things would have worked perfectly in this country if you take out the issue of abuse and nepotism and corruption and favoritism in this country. If you give people what they are doing, you try to put round peg in round holes, you'll find out that we don't have any problem. Some of the problems we have in our system, because like I told you, we have perfect system in paper, but when it comes to reality, we always have wars and people who jeopardize this effort. But I'm not going to go into that. So I would love, the only thing is to appeal the conscience, even the students. This is not the time for you to take the loan for gambling. See, Nigerians are funny. I hope the money will go straight. I hope when, apart from the vocational training, money that go for vocational training and all that, I believe that the student loan should be directed to the account that is meant for. Because if you allow students to take that money, I'm very sure they will use to play gamble. Some of them will use to play Obajamu. Some of them will use to play Naira Bet and all that. That is a reality. The money should not go to the students. You want to use this money to pay school fees. How much is your school fees? You process it. Once you get once the money has been approved, it should be paid directly into the school account. That will safeguard the money, and it will not be open to abuse. Now, the other abuse we can talk about is maybe at the end of the day when student graduates and there is no job. I believe that issue has been addressed. That's paying back. I know they are going to pay the paying back is going to be systematically, because I believe that their BVN is linked to the loan and all that. So once you start getting money after your graduation, it should be automatically waived. So the only thing is that it shouldn't be abused by our parents, and every one of us that are involved should ensure that we support the government to see that this particular loan are live to its purpose in the first place. Abedisho.
Okay, what do you think would now be the role of the National Association of Nigerian Students in this or in all this? Because they were also part of those who pushed this to say that it comes to
they are only simple
at the end of the day. What role do you think they have to play?
It is simple monitoring. You know, before now, association, Nigerian Student Association or SUG union in school, their role is to monitor implementation of every monies that goes into institution and policy. Now that this law has now been enacted, this is not time to say Tinubu for anybody. This is a time to monitor who are the people. They should set up a sustainable committee. They should create a particular office in that there are executives that will be in charge of monitoring of how many students benefit from this particular school and how many students is paying back. That should be continuous. That office should also be continuous. That should be created in the organogram of NANS, as they have Senate President, they have Financial Secretary. They should have a particular senator or a particular executive member or a particular chairman in terms of monitoring, evaluation of monitoring of student loan and implementation and payment and repayments. That they should have other subcommittees from different research to ensure that they also give back to the government that this policy you put into place is actually achieving its purpose and is living to the standard. That students' body would help more than any other monitoring team if only they understand their role and the faces. They don't have much role. Their role is to monitor how much comes in every year, how many students benefited from this particular scheme in this school, because we have network in every campus, so it is easier for them to actually carry out that role and deliver effectively. So that should be their role.
Okay, now when it comes to the issue of the university administration and all this, you know, the university play a very key role, you know, because at the end of the day, when the student loan is approved, the money goes definitely directly into the student, into the account of the university. Yes. And you know, before now, what we do is to pay directly as a student. We pay directly into the school account, which is also a treasury single account. Yeah. But will that make the university function effectively? Because at the end of the day, the money still goes to the treasury single account. They have to write.
That has been their concern.
And the rest.
that has been the concern of universities, that school will be underfunded, that there won't be availability of liquidity to do certain things or to carry out certain experiments and all that. And before now, the University Staff Union Association, ASUP, have been complaining bitterly about low funding of our education system. Now that the president have done so well in signing this, I think the government need to look at that is genuinely now like a father. Now that you have heard and listened to the cry of the students, it is now time to also listen genuinely this time around, not this kind of argument, debates. Now you need to have a better understanding, just like he has shown with the poverty situation among parents about funding of school fees and all that. He has shown that he understood the situation of Nigerians. He should also, the team working with Mr. President, the minister and everybody else and ministers should also take time to understand truly. You will find that our school education system has really been underfunded, and there is no way you will expect somebody who is underpaid or because there are some universities you go to that lecturers do not even have conducive environment, you understand, let alone helping their psychology, balancing their psychology to deliver their best. You know, when you are working in an environment, the economic or the circumstances that surround your work environment does not appease swiftly to your mind, you will find out that you will not deliver your best. So federal government should sincerely open their hearts and talk. They need to judge instead of war, instead of all this threat. The federal government needs to let the ASU understand that they're actually intervening in some of their complaints, and they will take it that in as much as he's going to be there for 8 years before he leaves there as a president, he would have ended up, he should give them succession plans between now and 8 years to see how he's going to declare state of emergency in our education sector, how it's going to be funded, and how he's going to call on every other local and international organization to come to their aid to see that the way he makes the student happy is also making the lecturer happy and non-teaching staff happy, so that we can have the best. It's not about having student loan. What value are you getting with the education, with the money you spent on education in Nigeria? That is also should be our concern as a country, not just about making availability of money for students to acquire education. What is the quality of education you are having? And I also want to appeal to our parents. Education, university education is important. Very important. But for me, if I come back to this world, I think the first thing I need to have is skill. After my skill, I practice for like 2-3 years. Then I will now further, by that age of 18, 19, 20, I would have practiced my skill for like 2-3 years. I would have become a master in my skill. Then I'll further for education. By 25, 30, I'm already done with my education. I will become a complete man. Anyone with a university education without skill is yet to be a complete man. And that person should not be allowed to get married. You become a liability to the country. You need to have skill. You need to make money. You cannot make money from speaking English. It's not by speaking good English and dictions that gives you money. What gives you money is understanding how to create, innovate, creativity, production, converting raw materials into finished products. That is where you can make money into the country. That is the solution to Nigerian problem, not just the education. Education is very important, and don't forget that skill is also embedded. It's also an extension of education. So get it right, because some people misunderstood it. I am not against university education. What I'm saying is that there must be a balance in our education between skills and theory. And at the end of the day, we must prepare this generation to be problem solvers, not just generation that acquires skill, acquire knowledge, theory, and all that, but also have a practical knowledge on how they can mix chemicals, how they can create, how they can build AI, how they can solve problems using technology, how they can produce food with knowledge, how they can produce clothes, how they can produce telephones, cars, how they can melt oil in Ajakuta and turn it. What are the chemicals they will mix together? They need to have all this knowledge. All the coal, what would they do with the coal in Enugu? What would they do with cocoa in Ondo? What would they do with cassava in Ekiti? They should have knowledge on how they can convert all these raw materials into finished goods that they don't even need the government. Then the burden on government will reduce. Everybody will lessen. The federal government will lessen, the state government will lessen, the local government will lessen, even the youth and the people will be lessen, because everybody is doing their bit. And the The only way people can do their bit is when you give them good education and you complement it with good skills.
Well, I have a friend who recently said that the moment you are a graduate of any particular course, invariably you have a skill, except you don't know what it contains. If you know the technical know-how of the course you've studied, definitely you have a skill. For instance, if you are a chemist, you study chemistry.
No, chemistry is practical.
Okay, let us take it out. Sociology, the essence is to solve societal problem.
Yes.
So if the moment you graduate as a sociology student, invariably you have skills on how to solve societal problem. You have skills of identifying some of these problems. So it's just that.
Okay. Let me tell you, you have an idea on how to solve problems. You will not still be able to solve the problem without counterpart funding, either for organization, non-governmental organization, because there are certain money that government should put for civil society organization, not to depend on politicians. Civil society organization has good instrument in shaping the society. Sociologists end up becoming civil society organizations, and the rest of them, people in the social sciences, they understand the problems of the societies, but for you to be able to solve
organizations, but there are organizations who are also waiting for you to identify problems, and that problems, for you to have identified it means you have an idea of how to solve the problem. So that's also a skill on its own. It may be a soft skill, not a hard skill, but then definitely this
identifying problems is one thing, solving the problem is another thing.
But then you've identified the problem, so the idea will definitely come on how to solve
it. I'm a sociologist. I believe that if I discover that I have malaria and I don't have money to solve malaria, that trauma will kill me. So understanding that I have a problem and you don't have what it takes to solve it can also be a trauma.
Okay, but now one major issue that is still there is this. Now, the issue of the student loan bill was assented by the president yesterday, signed into law by the president yesterday. But then the issue that was also there, even before that of June, that he was able to look into it and then say, okay, let us give it time before we can fully put it into fruition, was the issue of universities increasing school fees.
Yeah.
So, don't you think this will be an opportunity for them to further increase the school fees, since the student will be taking loan?
Definitely. Loan or no loan is not the reason for the increment in school tuition fee in our universities. The simple reason is that the school our education has been underfunded. See, sometimes, somehow, we need to also listen to ASU. So, the kind of impression that the media has created about ASU is false. And I would want to speak to the media in this part of the world to desist to be an instrument also only from the government. They should be neutral, and they should make sure that they balance their report at any point in time. Because most people on the street, when they hear ASU and they hear strike, they want to cast assertion, they want to curse them, they want to do everything against ASU body. But it's not always the case. I'm not saying that there are not corrupt tendencies in their listing, but they are fighting a good, just cause, not for themselves, but for the society and for the school. Some genuine teachers, genuine lecturers will tell you that we are producing nonsense. Some of the things we are producing is nonsense. We don't even have what it takes to give good education. Not that we don't have the skill or we are not interested in giving this thing, but we don't have what it takes. We can't give it because of the environment and certain things that they need to make education. Imagine there are some, is it also that if there is not enough funding in the school, how do you make your teaching or your lecturing environment conducive for learning? The laboratory equipment that needs to be here. Do you know that some lecturers use their personal money to fund to get electricity fuel to put in some generators just to light the environment and to lecture? You see, there is no one who can continue that way, and you expect them not to be happy because some of them have students. Some ASU people, they are Nigerians. ASU are Nigerians. People need to understand that ASU are not against Nigerians. They are also Nigerians. They are fighting. Some of them might be corrupt. I'm not saying that. Yes. I'm not dissuading that. I'm not taking that away from my fact. But the point is that they are genuine cause. The truth of the matter is that Nigerians need to know that our education sector has been underfunded. Until when government understand exactly what education is all about and make the proper investment in education, our society will continue to be like this, because half education that will make somebody to be corrupt, half education will make somebody to be a criminal, half education will make the society not to be peaceful, half education will make some people believe that Western education is a crime against Islam and all that. So it is just bad education that is affecting our society in the totality or in the real life. When you understand what education is, I'm not saying that there are no crimes. There are countries. There is no country, because there is, in as much as life, human is concerned, there must always be conflict. Conflict is a natural phenomenon in every life, everybody, every society, whether in the rich north or poor south. Every part of the world, there must be conflict in as much as human relationship is concerned. But what we are saying is that the kind of violent conflict we are having in West Africa, in North Africa, East Africa, is as a result of what? The level of our value system, which education supports, and also our economic situation and our society, how the tenets or the principle that these societies are built on have been corrupted because of what? Bad education. So to sanctify or to cleanse our society, we need to cleanse our education sector, and that is the point, and that is what ASU is standing on. But the lot of them misunderstood ASU, and you still want to cast assertion, castigate them, insult them, and call them criminals and all that. ASU is not criminal. ASU, they are not bad. They are association, just like NANS, that is also promoting their business, which is what? Giving the best education to Nigerian youth. And the best education to Nigerian youth will help us.
I agree with you that ASU is a very good body, and it has also played, they've played major roles in terms of building our educational sector, and they were the major pusher of what we benefit today from, which is the third form, and then the special scholarships that Nigerian lecturers get to even travel to further enhance themselves in terms of skills development. But then, let us also look at it from this other angle. Should the SUG or NANS now kick against any increments in terms of school fees across schools?
They are not, as a former comrade, as one time this, one time that, in the Nigerian youth student struggle, I wouldn't want to speak badly of that institution, because that institution also give capacity and help young people to have capacity to understand even the environment and to participate positively in developing their school and developing their environment. So I wouldn't want to speak badly, but in the recent time, I'm seeing a shift in their in the principles or the tenets that led to the establishment of this institution in the first instance. You see now people give out awards. That is not the purpose of NANS or SUG. You are not an organization to just award people, give award, sing praises of politicians and support politicians. You know, that's one of the reasons why I don't like what they call this bourgeoisie kind of economy and the protectorate economy. You understand? You see that people will not stand with the truth most times. They will always chase the capital. They will always go after the capitalist. You know, you need to understand that most people today, their conscience and their sense of reasoning and judgment has been clouded because of petty cash and reward they get from giving award and from singing praises of politicians and people with halfness in the society. If only as SUG can stand alone, they are bigger than Nigerian police. SUG, NANS, and a lot of them, they are bigger than police, they are bigger than Auditor General Office, they are bigger than anything. If those people have well information about their role and they carry it out efficiently, you find out that SUG NANS is enough to put everybody to their toes and to ensure that there is probity, there is efficiency, there is transparency, and there is accountability in governance.
That's even when they know what it means for them to hold the position, because I know at some point NANS was able to stop Nigerian leadership. That's the president, I think it was about 1993 from carrying out
stampede the country.
And then if you know, it has to do with the ideology of what leadership is all about. If you understand that yes, the people you are leading, they have strength to speak. Definitely certain decisions will be taken by the leaders. But then, unfortunately, just yesterday, same time we are trying to celebrate the issue of the student loan being signed into law. We also had the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission increasing tariff from 66 naira to 225 naira. Just give us a brief reaction to that.
Seriously, like I said earlier today, that I'm in a shock. I'm still in a shock to that news, because at this point in time that we are talking about trying to incorporate the dying economy, the economy that is already suffering, that the president and every other person is trying to put in effort to build. This is not the time we should take such step. We should have first of all, there are things that supposed to have been done first before we talk about Ike, and that is what? Look at how many houses do we have in Nigeria that is using electricity. You find out that over 70% of our homes, our houses in this country are yet to be metered. They are still running on estimated billing. That alone is a major concern. What is the cost of metering our houses? That's one. If only that can be addressed sincerely, you find out that their reasons, they wouldn't have the reason to increase the hike. Now, what was their reason? That they needed more money. They needed more the money, the subsidy to boost the infrastructure. You see, when you meter homes, when you get, because why I'm against on meter billing or estimated billing, because 95% of the money that comes from estimated billing goes into the pocket of people that still collect salary, people that already have enough money to carry out their activities. So for me, it is wrong in its entirety, because it will affect cost of production, it will affect our country, it will jeopardize the effort of the Mr. President, it will make us go nowhere. This is not the time to go into hike of electricity, because people that will be affected are the type A. Those who produce, those who have access to light for production, and small and medium scale enterprises, they are the ones that will be affected mostly with this hike, and that will lead to more inflation and scarcity of food and scarcity of small produce that we still have in Nigeria. It's not a good development right now, and I would encourage Mr. President to please stop that.
To review it, which is a very good one, because many Nigerians are actually, while we are happy with the news of the student loan bill being passed or being signed by the president, definitely Nigerians were not happy with the issue of the increment in terms of the percentage of increments in terms of the hike and the cost of electricity in the country. We hope that there will be a review, and we hope NLC will be able to come out and actually state their ground on this particular one. Just finishing on this is Honorable Fobi Desmond Olarewaju, who is our guest today, a peace advocate and a public affairs analyst. My name is Isanu. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.